The diner on the outskirts of San Diego had seen better days. Its neon sign flickered in the fading evening light, and inside, the atmosphere was tense. 4 men in gang colors occupied the center booth, their voices loud and aggressive. Near the window sat a woman in a wheelchair, her head down, trying to finish her meal in peace. Lieutenant Rachel Morgan, retired Navy SEAL, had stopped at this diner countless times. The Eid that took her legs in Kandahar 3 years ago had changed everything about her life, but it hadn't changed who she was. She'd learned to navigate the world from a wheelchair, learned to face the stares and the pity, learned that some battles continued long after you left the battlefield. The gang members had been watching her since she wheeled in. The largest one, covered in tattoos, stood up and swaggered toward her table. His 3 companions followed, surrounding her wheelchair like wolves circling wounded prey. Well, what do we have here? Little cripple girl all alone? His friends laughed, the sound harsh and cruel. Rachel kept her eyes on her plate, her hands steady despite the adrenaline beginning to course through her veins. "Hey, I'm talking to you," he said, reaching out to grab her shoulder. Rachel's hand shot up, catching his wrist with surprising strength. "Don't touch me," she said quietly, her voice calm but carrying an edge. He yanked his hand back, anger flashing across his face. "Oh, tough girl? What are you gonna do? Roll over my foot?" His companions found this hilarious. Other customers looked away, afraid to intervene. What happened next would turn an ordinary evening into a moment these gang members would never forget. And if you think being in a wheelchair means being helpless, stay with this story because you're about to learn something about real strength. The door swung open, and 8 men walked in. They weren't particularly loud, didn't announce themselves, but the way they moved, the controlled power in their bearing, was unmistakable. Navy SEALs, still in their training gear from the base, having stopped for dinner after a brutal day of exercises. The team leader, Master Chief David Chen, took in the scene instantly. 4 gang members surrounding a woman in a wheelchair. His team spread out without a word, a practiced movement that put them in strategic positions throughout the diner. The gang member facing Rachel didn't notice at first. "Maybe we should take that wheelchair for a spin, boys." He reached for the handles of her chair. Master Chief Chen's voice cut through the diner like a blade. "I'd advise you not to do that." The gang member spun around, his bravado faltering when he saw 8 men, each one clearly military, radiating the kind of danger that came from real combat experience. "This ain't your business, military man," he said, but his voice had lost its confidence. Chen walked forward slowly. "Actually, it became my business the moment you put your hands on her. You see, we have a rule. We don't tolerate bullies, especially bullies who target people they think can't fight back." The other SEALs had formed a loose perimeter, their silence more intimidating than any words. One gang member noticed the tridents on their uniforms. "Navy SEALs." He grabbed his leader's arm, whispering urgently, but pride made the leader stupid. "There's 4 of us and 8 of you, but we're not scared." Rachel's voice cut through the tension. Master Chief Chen, every head turned toward her. She was looking at the SEAL team leader with recognition. "Been a while, sir." Chen's expression shifted to something softer. "Lieutenant Morgan, I didn't recognize you from behind. How long has it been?" She replied quietly, 3 years since Kandahar. The gang members looked confused, but the SEALs understood immediately. Lieutenant Morgan, the female SEAL who'd lost her legs saving her team, who'd earned a Silver Star and Purple Heart in the same action. This is where the story takes a turn that'll give you chills. Keep watching, because what happens next proves that respect is earned, not demanded. Master Chief Chen turned back to the gang members, his expression absolutely cold. "You just tried to bully a Navy SEAL, a decorated war hero who's sacrificed more for this country than you'll ever understand. A woman who's saved more lives than you have years on this planet. So here's what's going to happen. You're going to apologize to Lieutenant Morgan. Then you're going to leave this diner and never come back." The gang leader's face flushed red. "We don't apologize to nobody." One of Chen's teammates, a massive SEAL named Rodriguez, cracked his knuckles casually. "You really want to make this difficult? Because we just finished Hell Week training exercises. We're tired, hungry, and frankly, we could use the stress relief." Rachel wheeled forward slightly. "It's okay, Master Chief. They're not worth it." Chen shook his head. "With respect, ma'am, yes they are. These men need to learn that actions have consequences. That preying on people they think are vulnerable is going to cost them." The smart gang member was pulling on his leader's sleeve now, genuinely frightened. 4 gang members against 8 SEALs wasn't a fight. It was a massacre waiting to happen. Finally, the leader's brain processed the danger. His swagger collapsed. "Look, man, we didn't know she was military. We were just messing around." Chen's voice dropped lower. "You shouldn't need to know someone's military to treat them with respect. Apologize." Now, the gang member turned to Rachel, eyes on the floor. "Sorry," he mumbled. "Louder," Chen ordered. "I'm sorry," he said, meeting her eyes. Rachel nodded once. Chen gestured toward the door. "Leave. And remember this moment next time you think about bullying someone." The 4 gang members practically ran out, their pride shattered by 8 quiet professionals who hadn't thrown a single punch. As the door closed, the tension drained. The elderly waitress came out from behind the counter, tears in her eyes. "Thank you. They've been terrorizing us for weeks." Master Chief Chen pulled out a chair and sat at Rachel's table, his team following suit. "How've you been, Lieutenant?" Rachel smiled. "Getting by, Master Chief. Some days are harder than others, but I'm still fighting." Chen nodded. "That's all any of us can do. Keep fighting." They talked for the next hour, catching up, the bond between warriors transcending rank and circumstance. Before they left, Chen picked up the tab for everyone in the diner. As they walked out, he turned back to Rachel. "You ever need anything, ma'am, you call. The team takes care of its own." Rachel felt tears prick her eyes. "I know, Master Chief. I know." She watched them leave, these 8 men who'd made things right without violence, just with presence and authority that comes from real strength. This story isn't just about bullies getting scared or heroes showing up at the right time. It's about understanding that disability doesn't equal weakness, that wheelchairs don't define capability, and that the strongest people are often those who've survived what would break others. Rachel Morgan lost her legs, but not her courage. Those gang members learned that preying on perceived vulnerability is dangerous. And 8 Navy SEALs proved that real warriors defend those who can't defend themselves, not for glory, but because it's right. If this story reminded you to look past appearances and see the warrior within, share it. If it taught you that respect costs nothing but means everything, pass it on. The world needs more people who stand up and fewer who stand by. Thank you for listening, and remember, the person you underestimate today might be the hero who could teach you what strength really means.